Hello, hello, pros with babes. Happy Tuesday. I'm jumping on for a quick reflection on your CEO schedule. Today is the last day of August. We are heading into the fall, and this is a great time to shift your perspective, your mindset around your schedule. I bet many of you tell yourselves there's never enough time in the day to do what I need to do. My to-do list never gets done. And as a busy mom, that becomes particularly true. We don't get more hours in the day, but our responsibilities multiply when we have children. So how do you reclaim your time? Research shows, and we've been working with this in the Pros and Babes community with moms, we work through an interesting book that successful women run their calendars. They don't let their calendars run them. And what does that mean? They time block around what matters to them in advance. They don't just let the day get eaten up by all the random asks and tasks for everyone else, right? So we each get 168 hours in a week. And one of the most comprehensive research pieces on how women do it, successful women do it, is they tell their calendars what to do in advance. So I have my calendar on my wall, and you may wonder, how do I do that as a busy mom? It's quite hard. Yes, it's not an easy task, because as your children grow, when they're really little, every few weeks something changes. As soon as you get used to a pattern of behavior, something new comes up, and you're dealing with sleep and potty training and school schedules and preschool and kindergarten and activities and all of that, right? So you can tell yourself, well, it's so hard because things change all the time. Well, I'll tell you how I went around organizing my schedule. Number one, embracing imperfect action. So many women in this community are perfectionists, and so they expect it all get done. The list will all get done. So I use the principle of embracing imperfect action, even as it relates to my calendar. And I really like to plan in advance. That's one of my key tricks, is I give myself room to grow into planning. I've tried different methods. The women in the Mom Bee program have used different methods, different time blocking, color blocking schedules for maternity leave, for going back to work, or when they have older kids. But what I do is I've actually created my September calendar back in May, and I had many drafts. And it all started with the belief that I am the creator of my life. You cannot skip that step. You first have to shift from I don't have enough time to I am the creator of my life. Have a vision for the long game and know what you really value. And then experiment. You're going to try different things when it comes to your calendar, and it may not work, and that's okay. But every time you give it a try, you have the courage to take ownership of your time, to be the creator of your life, and not just to live in the patterns of the past. You're flexing that muscle. Right? So what I did is I printed a couple of monthly calendars, and I started marking some non-negotiables. So my day home schedule, when it's closed, when my husband has his time off as a teacher and reading weeks, when are some of the critical appointments, birthdays, when are some of my most profit producing activities for my business, right? Every business and every family truly has its profit producing activities around what matters to them. So I would start doing that and look at the macro picture. See, first of all, I always tell the moms in the community to block time for yourself in advance, at least quarterly, if not monthly. Put it on the calendar. So whatever you need to protect in this time of your life, and often it's time with yourself, it's time with your family, put it on the calendar first. And then I started having some calendar rules and principles. Let's say that as of September, I did not want any meetings on Fridays. Fridays would be for reflection, strategy, admin, bill payments, right? All of that. So I cleared my schedule on Fridays. I used to have my live show on Fridays. I moved it to Wednesdays. So I started with some principles, with a big picture view, with blocking off time for rest. When we feel like we never have enough time, we often avoid blocking our time for rest, for vacation. Instead, I put that first on my calendar. I put the non-negotiables first, and then I start building around it and create repeatable systems. So that is the gist of it. That's how to get started with your CEO schedule. First, deciding that you will run it, then giving yourself a chance to grow into it. I encourage you to map out your schedule starting in January in big buckets. Start your new year planning now. and reflect on what really matters to you, and then organize your time around it. Whenever I have conversations in our community with women around planning their time, they say, oh my goodness, I thought that all of my summer was open, but it's already clogged up with all of these activities. So if you don't claim the time to rest, it's just going to get dilapidated. Okay, so it starts with a mindset shift that you are going to take control of your calendar around the things that matter to you. Planning in advance, giving yourself time to experiment. Don't expect to have a super time block calendar as of next week and just jump into it. It takes time to develop the mindset shifts and habits. So give yourself grace, have fun with it, and let me know how it goes. Let me know if you are planning to run your calendar, or is your calendar going to run you this year as we jump into September. If you enjoyed this tidbit of information, I invite you to join us in our Pros and Babes Facebook group. Please tag any friends who may need some help around time management, any career-minded moms or dads who don't want to be stuck with the overwhelm of figuring out career life integration on their own. I'm Kenya Romanovska. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today.